What is going on, everybody? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Welcome into the channel. And today we're going to talk a little Arc Raiders. Does it need a PvE? Now, I've been playing this for almost 50 hours now. I cannot stop playing it. I am so addicted to this game. Me, I'm not a PvE player. I do not like the PvE, but the PvE in this game, Arc Raiders, it's pretty special. Like the way they have their robots like roam the actual like maps and like how they track you if you're, and you can sneak around. It's really, really good. You start fighting raiders, they will be alerted. They got snitches that will like alert you, and the next thing you know, you got a bunch of different wasp and different arc coming at you. It's unreal how like the PvE in this game, it's really, really well done. But for me, it's just like I don't want a PvP in a PvPe game, because I feel like this game needs the PvP. It just kind of makes that like that scared factor that you go into a raid and everything. And the thing is I don't want to see PvE in this game, but also I know that they're going to end up bringing it into the game. They're probably going to end up having events that are PvE, but I rather always have PvP in the game. I truly do. But I saw this video from Reforge Gaming, Arc Raiders and PvE. So I just wanted to go over this, discuss it, because the PvE versus the PvP is the big issue with Arc Raiders. Some people just don't like it. But when I've been playing solos, I've been encountering so many cool people. But when you go play trios, it's a whole different ball game. People are not talking. They are just shooting at first sight, and they're killing you right away. And it can get aggravating, but I love it. So honestly, I think the solo vibe on Arc Raiders is the way to go. But we're going to watch this video, and let's discuss it. Let's go.
I think Arc Raiders is going to add PvE content.
I don't want them to.
Now, before you reply to the video and say, oh, don't try to change
That's it. I'm replying.
Don't try to beg for PvE. That's not what this is about. Since the game first debuted, this has been one of the big debates. And people don't want it. They don't think it belongs. And we know the history of the game was originally going to be a PvE game.
That's the other thing. That's the thing. It came out saying it's a PvE, got everybody excited, and then they changed it to a PvP, and it pissed people off.
Going to add it, or will they add it? Many think it's going to be bad if they decide to. Well, a recent interview, I think, adds to my own theory that they will eventually add some type of PvE content. They might already even have plans for it. They also had interesting remarks about the goal and the fantasy of Arc Raiders being more PvE than PvP. Now,
as of right now, I can. So if you play this game and go solo, it's pretty much a lot of PvE, because a lot of people are very nice. But when you play the trios, forget it. You are going to fight raiders. It gets real nasty.
Add PvE down the road, not just because Tarkov did it, but because their posture towards PvE players and sort of the less hardcore players, I think, signals a willingness to do it. Not just because they think the game's going to appeal to casuals. They clearly are having success, which means the appeal of the game might be quite a bit more broad than just the people who like extraction shooters. But I do think there are people who are going to play this game in a less hardcore way. Not necessarily that like casuals are going to flock to Arc Raiders. And how they're treating player wipes, I think, is a pretty strong signal. They are cognizant to the fact that they're going to have to give less hardcore players an inroad to enjoy the game. Well, if you look at what they said in this recent interview at TwitchCon, I think it's very, very telling, and it honestly adds more to my observations up to this point. Now, if you like this video or opinion pieces like this, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe, and check out my live streams as well. Now, in case you missed it, the developers sat down for a great interview at TwitchCon.
We have talked about this.
Interesting things to say. Now, we don't need to retread how the game was originally.
Yeah, I already did a video on
and why they added PvP, but this interview did give a lot of context and philosophy behind why both elements need to be present in the game. Without PvE, they were worried it would just turn into sort of an extraction deathmatch, and without PvP, well, it wasn't exciting enough. It wasn't fun. It was just sort of boring.
Yeah.
Now, some of this,
because if you take PvP out of this game, I don't know, man. It wouldn't excite me, because I'm just fighting the Arc and then I'd get bored of them real quick. It's that element of surprise, knowing that raiders could come up at any moment and third party you, and that is part of the game. And if you take that out, then all of a sudden all the casuals are going to play PvE and the game is just separated the whole player base. I don't want that. That's what I don't want.
Statements from the interview I think are really worth paying attention to. And the first one is this. They said that, quote, "The main threat is Arc and we want to keep it that way.
Which is good.
Now, this is a pretty strong indicator that PvP will never be the main threat or focus. And if they think the main threat is Arc and they intend to keep it that way, I would assume that future plans and content updates will revolve around that, or at the very least, include updates to Arc and PvE threats. Now, if you were in doubt that this was something that they were going...
I'm hoping... This is what I hope they do. I hope they do a PvE, but events. So it's like a weekend event, and that's it, but then it goes back. Like, we'll be able to play PvP, PvE, but then there's an event like that you can go into, and that might be the PvE, which will last like a weekend or a day or whatever they want to do.
Focus on.
That would be cool. I'm down with that, but I prefer
quote,
not even having it in the game.
Shooters may dial back the PvE. So if you were hoping that they were going to dial back the PvE in favor of a more PvP-focused game, that is something they are not planning to do. More than that, they will not force PvP engagements. When asked about questing and forcing PvP, they said that, quote, "You will never be forced into PvP in our questing." Now, that's a
good.
pretty big
That's cool.
promise, and you'll notice...
Now, I like that, but I hopefully that they will put quests for the PvP. I want to have a PvP quest where I have to get a couple raiders or just raid or just, you know, be able to loot a raider and get some loot from a raider. I think that's cool. But they've already announced that, so that's probably not going to happen. But I hope down in the future that they do have that for the quest. But I'm enjoying the quest, though. I like it.
That a
I'm enjoying
consistent
this
theme
game
is
so
cropping
much.
up here. They're using
More than I
very
thought.
strong language about this. The main threat is Arc, and we want to keep it that way. And you will never be forced to PvP for a quest. It's almost as if internally they have fenced the game off with respect to PvE being a mainstay and somewhat protected element of the game. And they actually provide, I think, a very solid reason for that. So the fantasy of the game just would not line up with the goal being PvP, and they were very clear that they want the game to appeal to their original PvE fans. They basically said it wouldn't make much sense for the fantasy and the lore of the game to have folks going up to the top side with the goal of just killing each other. But there is something here that I think thickens the plot, and this might sound familiar to Destiny fans, but at some level, I can't see an ongoing game not having this sort of an outlook. They said that, quote, "Internally, we have referred to this as a 10-year game." Now I don't
that's
know about
interesting.
you, but if you want a game like this to last for 10 years, you're going to need to do more than just new maps, locations, or player wipes. You are going to need content, and content is the key.
Like
Helldivers 2 has
Helldivers has got like a what? It's like these events, and like if you guys don't do certain stuff in this map, like a lot of the stuff will destroy and everything. They'll destroy a whole map and everything. They have a lot of cool events over in Helldivers. They will have to do this, and like how you have Speranza. It would be really cool that, like, if that can get wiped out or something in the story where we have to move out of Speranza and like go into another colony, like, or somewhere in the Rust Belt, somewhere like that would be really, really cool. Where all of a sudden the maps we're playing are gone and we're in a whole nother like part of the Rust Belt and where there's different maps. So it's like 5-6 maps all of a sudden come out. That would be really, really cool. Like in like every 6 months a season happens where stuff just goes crazy. We have to move, and these events that we have to do as a community ends up like that story tells that, and like we have to move out. Like that would be awesome.
Shown this,
I think that would
cause
be sick.
really big resurgences in your player base.
That's what they have
with
to
new
do.
Content, with enemies, with new things to do. The PvP element at some level is not as evolvable because PvP always devolves into metas. PvE, however, well, the sky is the limit. New arc units, new threats, new activities. You really don't have any limitation. You could expand the lore, the fantasy, the story of the game. Something new could be discovered. A brand new threat could show up. And that's, I think,
that's what they have to do.
The way they answered another question about sort of the game ongoing, it really stood out to me. When speaking about the game ongoing, they talked about the launch version of the game as the game mode, and that's what they have today, this game mode. Now, this implies evolutions or maybe even more modes could come down the road. Now, obviously, too many modes can dilute your player base.
That's the problem. I don't want to have one section PvE and one section PvP. It has to stay PvP, PvE. It has to. And I just don't know how they're going to do this to keep all the player base like happy. I really truly don't know, but a lot of it's going to have to come with events and content drops, like big content drops.
Player funnel,
to keep this
but
game
I could see a
going.
handful
Because
of
as of right now, as I'm recording this, Arc Raiders on a Monday morning, Monday afternoon, it's like a #1 game. Everybody's still playing it, so that's a good sign.
showing up. Number one, I think you could see bespoke PvE content, something that's almost raid-like, where you go in and you gotta work with a bunch of people. You could have missions where you have to go and investigate something, and you gotta work together instead of going up and potentially fighting or getting shot or betrayed. You could even have story content. They seem to be focused on having lore and a fantasy that continues to expand and evolve as you unlock things and do things. I also have talked about how they could add a PvE intro mode to the game, sort of because the opening can be a bit tough. It's very player dependent. If other people just decide to kill like crazy in those opening sessions, then you're not going to have a great time, and you're sort of drinking from the fire hose. There is so much to learn and figure out. They're going to have to monitor those early quit rates to see, hey, could we add something that maybe is a little bit more protected for those introductory experiences? And the bespoke and the aspirational PvE content would be something that you would work towards as a player. You want to be good at extracting in the PvEVP environment because that's going to get you access to the primo or the new content. A little bit of gatekeeping can be helpful, but I think
that would be a really good way to do it. So you come into the game, it's a lot of PvE, and then you have the choice to go in, and then that's where you'll be able to get the rewards and everything, and you'll be like, oh, okay, now I'm seeing it. But fighting the PvE for so long, they might just like that, and then when it comes to the player, they might just drop off anyway. So that it's very, very hard there.
Healing is for one big reason. There is a very clear categorical difference between extracting in an environment when, PvE and PvP are coexisting, and that's not quite the same as doing something that is almost entirely PvE in its nature. Big threats like the Queens require cooperative play. It's not a traditional extraction type of content. It's far more adjacent to something like Helldivers or Destiny or even a world boss in an MMO. Having that end with a PvP betrayal or a third party comes in and just kills you, I think that would be pretty demoralizing and could hurt engagement if you have aspirational content like that. And so much about this game is built to appeal to PvE players. If you look at the grind and the quests and the skill and the leveling
it's all PvE.
It really speaks to those type of game players. And they clearly don't want PvP to be the central theme of the game or even forced on you in quests. They made that pretty clear in this interview. When you really look at their comments, in addition to how they're treating player wipes, I really get the feeling that PvE content is in this game's future, which I think could only help it grow and have longevity. But those are just my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts. You can leave a comment below. Be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe so that way I can see you.
Yeah, I'm going to end it there. So the thing is with that PvP longevity, it could last, but then the thing is you're going to start losing your PvP players. So it's like there's this middle ground that they're going to have to figure out. But the thing is I don't want to see it ever just go over to a PvE because then I won't play it. I have to have that element of just like I'm about to die to raiders. I love that. And the actual arc in this game are unreal. Like they will kill you so quickly if you run out or if you're not cautious and looking in the air. Next thing you know, you have so many drones around you, and if you're like low on health, boom, you're done. And you got nobody around you, nobody to revive you, you're done. And you're just like, and bro, it sucks. It really does. But I would like to see, I don't mind some PvE coming into this game as some modes here, but I want them limited time modes, like events. But I always want that core gameplay that we always play majority of the time to always be PvP inside of it. Like it has to be that way. That's my opinion. And I just don't want to see PvE put into this game. I don't. But if it has to, I would like to see it at a limited time events where everybody kind of comes around, bands together to get the queen, the king, or whatever arc threat we have that week. That's okay. But it has to always have the PvP, at least that aspect in the game somewhere. But that's my opinion. I appreciate everybody that comes by my videos. Thank you so much. If you are here at the end of the video, if you can, hit a like up on the video. Really, really helps these out. I will be live streaming Arc tonight probably. And yeah, we'll be doing a lot more Arc Raiders videos. I love this game. I cannot get enough of it. I'm already 50 hours in, rank like 35. I'm just trying to get up, try to rank up my my workbenches, different stuff like that, trying to find getting a lot of these quests done. But it's a lot of fun. I appreciate everybody. I hope everybody has a good day, and see you on the top side. Peace.